Okay, so I ground feed the other day. That video will be just right after this, but I wanted to give you an explanation, an intro before you watch that. So I picked me up an International 1250 feed grinder. I've got it hooked to a Belarus 825. It's a great tractor. My dad bought it brand new in the early 90s. It's a fantastic tractor, great livestock tractor. If you can get your hands on one of these, they're really cheap now. They quit producing them in the US. So if you can get your hands on one, several of them are really good. There's a few bad ones out there. I'd highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite tractors. Okay, so I'm grinding goat, sheep, and cattle feed. That's the mixture that I have. So what I've put in there, a lot of people won't tell you their mixture, but I'm feeding in Arkansas, okay? Because different feed rations are very specific to what you're doing, where you're doing it, and what resources you have available. So I'm in Northeast Arkansas. We have a supply of cottonseed, whole cottonseed with the lint still on. I have a supply of soybean trash. I've got a supply of corn. We raise grain crops on this farm if you haven't watched my other videos. So I have some commodities at hand. So here's my mixture. I keep a record book of my feeds. I just labeled it feeds and feeding, just a simple notebook. I reference University of Arkansas. They have a lot of good stuff out there to kind of help you. If you even email Dr. Gadberry, he'll help you out on trying to determine feeds. But this feed ration came from my friend over around Rivervale. He's feeding, having got a lot of good luck out of it. I'm changing a little bit due to the commodities that I have. So I'm feeding lactating goats. So they have kids on their side. They're getting nursed down pretty heavy. I also have a neighbor over here I ground feed for. He's feeding about 700 weight stocker steers that he's going to feed all the way to finish. And so that's what this ration is for those lactating does with the kids on their side, and also trying to feed and finish some steers. So what I have mixed, I'm reading off my sheet here, because a lot of people won't tell you they're mixed. I put in 950 pounds of corn and ground it, okay? Just busted it up. I put in 300 pounds of whole cottonseed, linted. 380 pounds of Bermuda hay, high quality Bermuda hay that I ground into the mixture. I put 270 pounds of soybean trash or splits, 50 pounds of dried cane molasses for an added flavor and texture for them. I put in 50 pounds of calcium carbonate or a lime, to add some extra calcium. And then I put in 3 gallons or 20 pounds of vegetable oil, cooking oil, to raise my fat level. And I had 100 pounds of wheat on hand that I ground and put into the mixture as well. So that's what I've mixed. If you didn't hear that, 950 corn, 300 whole cottonseed, 380 hay, 270 soybean, 50 molasses, and 50 calcium, 20 pounds of veg oil, and then 100 pounds of wheat. So it's a pretty good blend. Everything seems to be eating it really good. I'm about to transfer some over to the wagon, and I'll show you that. This is the setup I have. This is my grandpa's old sow feeding wagon with his tractor. So I've got a feed wagon, an auger wagon, but I want to put it in here to dip buckets out of. I unloaded some feed for a neighbor. So that's what we're going to do today to kind of wrap this up. other day, if you watch the video, you'll notice that I started off with my loading auger right here. This is the grain loading auger. I started with my corn and my wheat, and it dumps into here. Down in there, there's a hammer mill, and I'll show you that. That hammer mill spins with the PTO, and it crushes and busts that that seed up. So this is the back side of the hammer mill. You can see there's hay in there. I'm gonna clean this out anyway. So there's screens, and beyond that screen is rotating hammers. And those rotating hammers spin and beat that seed up, and that gets augered into the big mixer hopper. I think it's wanting to rain. We better hurry. So these are the screens. They come in different sizes. So that goes into the hopper. And then I added the hay in there as well. I didn't use the loading auger. I just stuffed it in there a brick at a time. Right here is our supplement tub. That doesn't get ground. That just goes right into the mixer. So I mixed everything of the same particle size at the same time. So I mixed my wheat, my corn that was ground, and I mixed my mineral, my calcium, and my molasses in there. And then I went to the whole cottonseed and the soybean. Then I went to the hay. So I started small particle size and blended everything together, then went up in particle size to make it all even. You get what I'm saying? And this right here is the unloading auger that I'm gonna dump into the wagon. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you saw us holding that unload auger on the grinder up when we was outloading it, that's because the worm gear shaft for the height adjustment on that auger is broken too. So I'm gonna have to machine a new shaft for that. But it shouldn't be that hard of a fix. Should be a pretty easy fix. But we got that load done. The goats seem to like it. So with that, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, share on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want to share. Turn on that bell for notifications. That way when I post a new video, you'll see it. There'll be more videos to come. Keep making every toe push. There's some bonus footage for you. Chiseling ground in January. Today was inauguration day for our new president, Biden. And all the farmers around here are trying to order more fertilizer and book fertilizer for the year, and Dad's decision was to go ahead and apply all the P and K fertilizer on the farm right now, and he's trying to incorporate that in before the rain and hopefully apply that throughout the soil layers. So that's what we're doing. Fertilizer expected to go way up, have a shortage under the new president and all the COVID stuff, so that's what we're having to do.